In
But I have
theory.
adjusted it a little. Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Among the Embers. I am Alazio Lukita, your GM for the, evening for some, morning for others, afternoon for me. Take your pick. Just to open up with, I'd like to thank Star Trek Online for the use of some of their graphics. Modiphius, of course, for creating this wonderful gaming system. And Fury of the Seraph on DeviantArt for the template for our ship dedication plaque. We also have, all the usual things, Twitter, YouTube. And feel free, if you play Star Trek Online, to come and check us out on our website. How's everyone today?
Kane lives.
I'm good.
Are you sure about that, Kane? You don't really sound too alive.
It's a long boot up process.
Yeah. To be fair, it is, 7 your time?
Yep.
I'm enjoying
fairly early.
That most rare of treats, the Taco Bell breakfast.
Well done. Now, we do appear to be missing our doctor. I haven't seen anything regarding whether or not he'll be showing up, so we shall see. And in the meantime, who would like to give us all a recap?
Everybody jump up at once. Alrighty.
I'm just making sure I got all the details right.
This recap will be a little longer, because this is technically episode 4. Episode 3, we were not able to stream because our dear Chief of Operations was not available. So we got through a fair amount of stuff there, but
Like there was a recap on our fleet website, right?
yes. Hold on a second. There we go.
All right, bear with me. Last time on the Trust. Last time on Among the Member? Yeah.
Among the members.
Last time on Among the Embers, it was uncovered that the Takaran scientist Dr. Jabren was discovered to be a leak to the Renegades about the weapons test. He even gave the crew the way to detect the torpedo signature, but then sabotaged the Nightingale sensors to stop pursuit of the Renegades. Afterwards, the scientist was captured, but it took several security officers with phasers set to maximum stun to take him down. Once Ventot had repaired the sensors, they were able to pursue the energy signature to an area near the former Romulan neutral zone. However, it appears the Renegades had their own problems with the device as it interacted badly with the Brel's cloaking field and released a large amount of tachyon radiation, killing the crew. The team of Bjorn Bong, Naz Bosnan, Forel Callan-Ranis, and Ventot made their way to the derelict bird of prey via shuttlecraft and in EV suits. Working together, they were able to deactivate the weapon, but not without receiving large amounts of radiation poisoning. Forel was hit the worst and passed out on returning to the shuttlecraft, needing immediate medical treatment. As the team disengaged from the derelict bird of prey, the Takaran fleet had arrived. But at the same time, 2 Romulan Dederadex warbirds decloaked. We start the episode with the away team in the shuttlecraft on the way home, facing these new challenges. What will they see today?
That is a fine question.
Nicely done, sir.
All right. So, yes, you have the treacherous doctor, possibly dead, possibly in hibernation. It's not entirely clear because Takaran biology is strange in your medical bay. You have the Takaran fleet, who came chasing, demanded the return of the doctor, and wasn't too happy when you refused. And you have a couple of Romulan warbirds who have decloaked and have unknown intentions. It's all to look forward to.
Rocking a hard place.
Pretty much.
So we are technically still, I mean, current political situation aside, we are still technically in the neutral zone, right?
Former neutral zone.
Yes. Close enough. This is definitely beyond the kind of territory that you would normally see Didaridax operating in. Even given the neutral zone's effective collapse with the shambles that the Romulan Star Empire is in currently.
Well, even before Hovis, the Romulans tended to venture outside their space in order to do covert recon and all that jazz.
Oh, certainly. But
So maybe these.
dropping two double Ds on top of a Federation warship, Federation starship, and other such things is not usual. So we have Commander Bong and the shuttlecraft, and we have Captain Jazonan on the Nightingale. What's the plan, folks?
I would say get the shuttle back to the ship ASAP, the crew to sickbay, and see what happens from there.
Well, there happen to be some problems with that. So anyway, I would like to have helm maneuver the Nightingale towards the shuttlecraft to be as close to put it between it and the Diderixes.
Okay, yep.
And obviously open hailing frequencies.
Yes, well. Well, moving Nightingale is pretty easy. No rolls needed for that. After all, you're blocking off a shuttle and a Morel-class bird of prey with a Nebula-class starship. That's not hard. As it turns out, the Romulans beat you to the hailing thing. They seem very keen to talk. So,
Well, Romulans do enjoy a tit for tat.
the figure on the view screen he's very Romulan. Like, there's a particular quality about Romulan commanders, particularly ones who have, like when you get to the Star Trek Online continuity, it's all a bit more rough and ready because half of them are farmers. But these are still the glory days, or more or less the glory days of the Empire. This is a career officer with deep, you can probably expect all the usual biases and opinions, which one suffers whenever one deals with the Romulans.
A certain imperial hauteur, if you will.
Yeah.
That is a lovely way of putting it, thank you. I am Sub-Commander Varus. Oh, I am here to demand the return of that which was stolen from us.
A pleasure, Sub-Commander. I am Captain Tayad Zaonen. What are you claiming has been stolen from you?
You are in possession of a prototype warhead, which was developed by our scientists, and subsequently stolen by the Takarans.
The plot thickens.
You what, mate?
May I roll insight?
You may, in fact. Let me see. That would be a insight command check. I'll put a difficulty of 2 on that, I think.
Since I missed the last. What is our momentum at? Or are we all back down to something else?
Your momentum currently is at 3. You might be showing 4. We've changed the scene, so it's ticked down to 3.
Fair enough.
Remember, we used determination on our last session. Is that back up to 1 or?
That's
Nope.
per person.
Okay.
Determination is per person, and you have to earn it back, or you get it at the start of every adventure.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm gonna buy a die. And would Romulan culture apply here?
Yeah, I will allow that.
Oh,
Nice. 4 successes.
so that means 2 momentum back, yeah?
2 momentum back, that's correct.
Nice.
Woohoo!
So what exactly are you trying to figure out here?
For as far as I can tell, general honesty or belief that it's actually their prototype. Seeing as how Romulans, tend to always, what's the word I'm looking for? Embellish the truth.
Dissemble. You're looking
Yeah.
for dissemble.
He's definitely... He's confident he's in the right.
I mean, the torpedo did show signs of gravimetric and tachyon signatures. I think that could be indicative of Romulan technology.
Do Romulans use quantums?
No, not to my knowledge.
They primarily use plasma.
That's what I thought.
Plasmas and photons.
Yeah.
Let's see. You Pharrell, your analysis of the torpedo on the bird of prey, would you have communicated that back to the ship, or is that still on your tricorder?
I believe that's still on my tricorder. I did not communicate that to the ship.
Okay. So yeah, the bottom line is that he believes that they have a right to that torpedo. Beyond that, it's messy because when isn't a Romulan lying?
Of course. And
If you want more than that, I will give you more information, but you'll have to stop paying momentum.
I think I'll just act this out a little bit more.
Okay.
It's a very interesting claim, Sub-Commander. What proof have you of your ownership over this prototype?
Don't you think it's highly unusual that a race with very little in the way of formal history when it comes to weapons technology suddenly develops a brand new torpedo system? Takaran strike force penetrated our territory, hit one of our research labs, and stole the prototype.
That's a very good story there, Sub-Commander, but you still haven't offered proof. I need documents, something. You don't even have, you could just like hold it up over the screen, something. From what we know, the Federation has been working with the Takarans on this prototype weapon for quite some time.
The old Pixar didn't happen.
If you analyze the torpedo closely, you'll notice that it uses a singularity-based delivery system for the quantum warhead. I think we can agree that that is definitively a Romulan speciality.
Is this an open channel?
I will allow you to tap in.
Okay.
By the way, are you, given that you're now shielded, are you heading back to the ship?
Oh yeah, I'm totally heading back to the ship right now.
Okay.
Question for you though: do the four of the not dead yet or qualify as having been through enough bad stuff for a determination point?
No.
Okay.
Earning back determination is specifically value related.
Okay.
Yes, if you want to earn back determination, then one of your values needs to disadvantage you somehow.
Okay.
Short way of putting it.
Alrighty.
Back to the ship. Can I ask for a control plus con difficulty 1 check, please?
Right. Is the shuttle helping me?
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
Control plus con difficulty 1.
Alright.
Cool. That puts you back up to full momentum. You dock in the shuttle bay easily enough. Of course, you now have a potentially unstable quantum warhead sitting in the hangar bay, but one problem at a time.
Just on that shuttle with me.
Everyone but
Pharrell.
Yes.
Okay. When the Romulans said that if we look at the core, we'll see it's using singularity. Bjorn is actually not and indicate the missile to or the warhead to actually take a look at it.
We did know that's the warhead was using a gravimetric signature, or one of us made that determination.
The warhead was emitting. That's good.
Yes.
All right. Yes, Vintot. In that case, can I get a? Let's go insight engineering. And of 2 for this, I think. Since you've already had a fair number of clues to help you along. You know what you're.
You there?
Can someone repeat that for me? I'm sorry, I'm kind of listening to 2 things at once.
breaking up.
What if this is that weird bang a couple of weeks ago?
Experiencing some technical difficulties.
So while he figures
Check,
that
check.
out, there he goes.
We read you.
Can you repeat that for me? I'm sorry, I'm listening both to stream and myself at the same time.
No problem. Yes, could I get an insight plus engineering check from you to analyze the torpedo?
Can you repeat that for me? I'm sorry, I'm listening both to stream and
Difficulty of 2.
And I'm saying, I think we should burn the momentum too, just to make sure.
Yeah, we got a full load of momentum.
So how many dice?
That'll be 3 if you're spending the momentum.
Do you want to spend more than 1 momentum or just 3? Good. 3 dice.
3 should be fine.
Yeah, 3 should be good.
How many dice?
That'll be 3 if you're spending the momentum.
Hey!
Alright.
Nice. You get your momentum back. So you have Pharrell's tricorder readings. You have the suggestion of what to look for from the Romulan commander. And of course, Ventor, you are relatively familiar with Romulan technology because you worked alongside them during
yes,
the
I am.
Dominion War. So
Yes, I
now
am.
that you
I
know
forgot about that.
yes. Now that you know what to look for, you can work your way through the mass of systems on the torpedo and go, oh yes, that is in fact a singularity core of the type which is used in certain types of Romulan explosives. Now, applying that to a quantum torpedo is a new one, and potentially quite devastating, which would certainly explain how effective the tests were.
So they made a quantum singularity torpedo.
That is correct.
Oh boy.
Well, Captain,
I'm gonna do an action for Nas for him carrying Pharrell back to sickbay, if that's okay.
Well, there would have been medical teams on standby for when you landed. So yeah, you can.
Oh, then never mind.
You'll be on your way to sickbay fine. Everyone else, you get a nice dose of hyposprays to help you get through the initial symptoms of radiation poisoning. You'll need some treatment later on, but for now, you'll be perfectly functional for the rest of the crisis. You'll have the senior staff be glad to have you just laid out in sickbay.
Minus me.
Bleh.
Bleh, bleh indeed. Yeah, you'll be back in the thick of things shortly, Pharrell. You just need a little bit more than just a hyperspray.
so do I
Just
need
a
to
little
relay
bit.
that information to the captain?
So I'm, as soon as basically they finish giving us the hypos and everything, I'm heading up to the bridge.
Yeah, and I'm notified, like signaled, hey, your crew's back on board, right?
Yes.
Venta, I guess we go into the bridge too with the information he needs to tell the captain.
And I push my comm button for the chair. Lieutenant Nahas, bring our guest to the bridge under heavy guard.
The one who's unconscious or possibly dead.
Oh, that's right. Dang it. It's been a long week.
Sound good, man.
We're just gonna weak into Bernie's that stuff. Prop him up in the corner, kind of wave with the hand.
So instead, what I want to do is I want to do a 3-way chat with the Dakarans who are here.
that's probably not a bad idea.
And I'll look at the sub-commander. You know what, sub-commander? Right behind us, as you can see, we have a Takaran strike force. I wonder what they would say about this. I am really, actually very curious. And she says it with all seriousness in her voice. Is like, this is fucking weird. I want to know what the hell's going on.
But it would also explain some things, wouldn't it? Just
it would
how
explain a
unhelpful the
lot.
Takarans have been.
The only problem is this is now a, intergovernmental or intergovernmental / pseudo-governmental issue, which we had to completely avoid.
An interstellar incident.
But if this is true, that means it was an interstellar incident to begin with, so that means we didn't cause it.
Yeah, we were the unknowing party.
We are working for Janeway, so that's not saying the Federation was the unknowing party, just us. We're the patsy.
It's actually quite curious that they technologically and militarily limited races, the Takarans, could penetrate a Romulan facility and steal such a prototype.
It is indeed, but wouldn't be the first. There has been some evidence of the Takarans pulling similar things before. This would just be the magnum opus of their ability to borrow, quote unquote, and repurpose the technology of others.
Fair point.
All right. The Takaran ships are definitely at red alert, and they look like they're raring to just open fire. And needless to say, the Romulans have their shields up and their weapons charged. So this is a tense situation.
Are both channels open though? Can the Takarans hear me?
The Takarans can hear you. They haven't responded yet.
Now, so I say open the open channel. Now let's not let this get out of hand. There's no need to turn this into a bloodbath. Obviously, something not right and not what we were told about this torpedo is occurring. I intend to get down to the bottom of this to where all parties either are found culpable in deceit and are handled appropriately, or a mutual agreement is reached. I don't want this to devolve into conflict when there's much easier ways of dealing with this situation.
There is a long, awkward pause. You can almost see the Takaran commander weighing up his options, considering just how good his phases might actually be against two Romulan warbirds.
I can also
forget let's not forget he might also be fighting a Federation Nebula class vessel. If he picks the wrong side here.
Yep.
That would leave a greater disadvantage for the Takarans.
It's a messy situation where pretty much all three of you could end up getting screwed over if it comes to a firefight, depending on which way the dice fall.
Let's see. In one corner, we have two Romulan Daenerys, although they haven't said who they're from yet, have they?
They have not.
We could probably assume that they're from the Romulan military, at least, given that they just announced that they were like part of the security of that torpedo, or at least I'm assuming they were part of that security.
Don't assume that.
shouldn't assume that. And don't forget that even if they are Romulan military, the Romulan military is in like 4 parts at the moment.
Right.
This is something which our viewers will not necessarily be aware of, but the Romulan Star Empire, as it currently exists more or less, is in 4 parts. And they all kind of have their own particular quirks and attitudes towards people.
They all don't necessarily get along, which makes it even more interesting.
You're breaking up, Deck.
Yeah, try that again.
I was trying to say that the 4 pieces of the Romulan Star Empire don't necessarily get along with each other either.
That's correct. In fact, three of them all have the opinion that they are the rightful controllers of the Star Empire, and the other 2 are traitors. There are, in fact, 3 praetors currently active. It's fun. But that's kind of a tangent. We are back to the fact that the Karns have decided, you know what, maybe we should talk about this.
Oh, I didn't get to use 3 dice without spending momentum.
Um,
That's fine.
So-
It was a obvious enough answer for them to not.
yes, well, they go ahead and open comms, and you are now speaking to both the Dakaran commander and to your new friend.
Quick aside for those listeners who don't know what we're talking about when we discuss the breakdown of the Romulan Star Empire, we are using the Star Trek Online timeline, which can be found if you look for the Path to 2409, which breaks down all of this information going into the timeline of Star Trek Online. We're about 20 years or so early.
The year is, we are in, I believe, February, I worked it out, of 2388, so a few months after the Hopus disaster. Of course, some of the details, like the current Roman political structure, I came up with. So that will not be in there, but it's still useful to read. I was looking something up. What was I looking up? Sub-Commander Varus, that was his name. So you're talking to Sub-Commander Varus and Commander... no, I never actually gave the Dakaran commander a name.
The only Takaran name we do have is Debran.
Yeah. Let's go with Jaktan. They seem to like J names. So, Sub-Commander Varus and Commander Jaktan. Varus just sneers slightly. I really don't see why we need to get them involved. Let's leave this to the two forces that actually matter. You're in possession of the torpedo. Simply hand it back over to its rightful owners.
Well, see, Commander, we now have reasonable doubt that the Takarans actually are the rightful owners of this torpedo. There is significant technological evidence that it was actually pilfered from Romulan space. Care to comment?
That's utterly absurd. It's typical Romulan lies and mind games, trying to claim something which isn't theirs by trying to confuse you.
Trust me, Commander. No one knows, not many in the Federation know the Romulans quite like I do. I may not be able to tell when one is lying all the time because subterfuge and subtlety is a Romulan high
Custom.
point.
You do
Well,
actually note.
Out of character, the Romulan is on the screen. I'm trying to keep this peaceful. I'm not going to flat out call Romulans liars when I'm trying to be the mediator. I
as well.
complimented a Romulan.
You do actually see Sub-Commander Voris just tilt his head slightly, and then glance off screen to apparently talk with one of his subordinates.
Now, Commander Jackton. Oh shoot, lost my train of thought. I can't. So, Commander Jackton. From my knowledge and what my crew has told me in investigating this torpedo, there is significant traces of technology that is almost exclusively Romulan in origin. Seeing as how we've already blasted past any sort of hope of this being a confidential test, and all sorts of keeping this behind closed doors are gone, where did your people develop the technology to use such techniques?
The current science division is extremely gifted at going down unusual paths.
Which one?
Insight, please.
Yeah, let's go with yeah, go for Insight Command again.
Oh,
Ooh.
Well, you rolled before I gave you the difficulty, but
I wasn't going to use anything other than just those two. So if I failed, I failed. If I passed, I passed.
that's fair enough. Well, it was difficulty 2, so you've got 2 spare momentum floating around, which could be useful for getting some more information out of this question.
Can we use
so
it for
what-
advantage for these negotiations?
that is also something else you can do. So in terms of, I'm guessing that your question is he lying?
Yes. Or is he, or necessarily is he hiding, if he's lying / hiding the truth? Which I guess is the same as a lie.
Yeah.
Or
No,
truth of omission.
He's definitely not being honest with you. Whether he knew about this operation specifically, if there was an operation, isn't really clear, but he's definitely no stranger to some of the techniques that the Takarans use to get their technology.
Okay, so are we using it for advantage or more information? Because it's 2 for an advantage, right?
That's correct. You can still burn it. You can still dig into your main pool if you want to do both.
I think I could, yeah, spend 1 for an extra question, which I'm going to use it as a, because my plan was, I want to figure out how to word this, and maybe y'all can help me, because I have a feeling that Jabran is the one that headed up the stealing of this torpedo. I want to try and figure out how to word it to where I can see if the commander knew that. Blah. So the question would be, oh, if so I'll be so Commander, quick side note, was Dr. Jabran in charge of developing this torpedo the entire way through from start to finish, by the way?
I don't believe so. I fail to see how this matters, though.
So, well, it matters in. Now, I'm not claiming the Takarans are not the rightful owners, but history has shown certain elements of the Takaran people have gone through alternative methods of acquiring technology. Is it possible that whatever members of the scientific community that was developing this torpedo used these alternative measures? Because I think at this point we've reviewed that.
I can't comment on upon the methodology and class and materials used by weapons developers.
So for all you know, it could possibly be technology that was acquired via illicit means from the Romulans. So you have no clue personally if this torpedo does not belong to the Romulans.
I fail to see how it matters. This is technology which will be of use to us, and particularly of great value to the Federation. No matter what dire straits the Romulans may be in, they are not our friends.
Yes, because starting a war with the Romulans at this juncture would be an excellent idea.
It matters because despite its use, despite its potential benefits to the Federation, if we're going around stealing from other peoples, if we're going around determining that they have something that may benefit us, so we can just take it and interfering, we're going against the Starfleet and the Federation's core beliefs of honesty and doing things the right way. And I would highly doubt that anyone in Starfleet's hierarchy would even consider working with the Takarans on something that is not developed on the up and up. Yes, I'm lying through my teeth, but well, to my knowledge, I'm not.
Let's have...
And a weapon of this magnitude, I don't even know if it belongs in the current climate. The sub-commander, you could correct me if I'm wrong, sub-commander, you can admit that the Romulan Star Empire is not necessarily one cohesive front. There are detractors from legitimate Romulan governments.
All the more reason why my government requires weapons of this caliber to deter others who might, and he gives the Takaran a nasty look, attempt to take advantage of us.
Guys, I really hope I'm playing this the right way.
I would propose, if we can't come to amicable terms, that we destroy the torpedo. That way nobody can get it, and nobody can acquire it.
Seconded.
You're asleep, Pharrell.
I know. I'm not. This is not in character. This is out of character.
So Bjorn is going to mute the transmission from his command chair. Captain, we it's glass doors. They can see that we're talking, but although I've always kind of assumed that there's some kind of overlay they put on when they do this in the next
Oh,
generation.
that was for our other conversation.
Oh. Okay, so Bjorn's going to look at the captain. Captain, per standard non-intervention policy of the Federation, while we were presiding over this test, it does appear that there may be, as we have noticed and learned, a question of ownership. I do believe the standard recommendation from Starfleet is to, at this point, act as a third party and allow the two conflicting parties to resolve this amongst themselves, with us as arbiters as needed.
Commander, you as well as I do can see it. Well, let me retract, reverse. That's what I'm trying to get them to start doing, Commander. However, we are at a severe tactical disadvantage right now. And one shot fired could probably mean the end of us and the Takarans. I feel confident we may be able to survive through and see the day one with one warbird, but two is a different question. I am open to your suggestions as to what our next plan of action is.
I'll say this in character.
So we
even though
have
Eric couldn't.
determined that the core technology is at least somewhat Romulan, or someone else has been experimenting with singularity. We know that's not us. I am inclined to agree with the Romulans, but I am not inclined to give them this weapon.
Well, if the weapon truly... How about if the weapon truly is the Romulans? Then they already have all the data they need to replicate it. And from what your reports, from what the reports on our initial scans of this torpedo, the Takarans don't necessarily have quite grasped how to build this.
It's a rush job. The torpedo itself is practically unfinished.
And it's certainly not well tested.
If I might
How
suggest,
could it
Captain,
be our detonation codes didn't work?
Nothing a phaser won't fix.
Perhaps we could compromise. This is not a suggestion, it is simply an option. We return the torpedo in its current form to the Romulans and give the Takarans the data. If the warhead is truly manufactured on their own principles, they should be able to recreate it, not so?
Don't forget that this prototype is leaking radiation, unless we neutralize that.
We neutralized that.
Neutralized.
Okay.
Also, you have two people who are really close to giving the order to fire out there. So I'm going to ask you to pick it up a little bit, or I'm going to start getting through it.
Yeah. Bjorn's going to unmute the transmission. Point.
Boink.
I think we're trying to
So-
wait for VAR to fix his microphone.
Here's a thought.
Can you hear me now?
There
There we go.
You just do not have any luck with that, do you?
Apparently not.
Did you have any quick comments while we were doing all that discussion? Well, apparently not anymore.
No, I'm here. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Every time I press Z, it puts a bunch of Z's in the chat, and I try to take it out. Anyway, I was going to suggest that maybe we possibly might want to look at dismantling it.
Destroy it.
So once we're back on, once we reopen the channel, here's a thought. Sub-Commander, your people, I know, have all the data they need and the resources to recreate this torpedo in a much better shape than what it currently is, however haphazard this prototype is. And I can tell you as haphazard as I've nearly lost some crewmen trying to recover it. And the same could be said for the Takarans, that if they could build this from scratch as they claim, they have all of the technology needed to recreate this. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Both of them look a little edgy. There's something awkward here. Which makes me wonder, maybe they don't have the blueprints for some reason.
The Romulans
So-
or the Takarans?
Both.
Yes.
So here's what I propose. Why don't I just destroy this torpedo? If everyone is, if it's all as everybody claims that which belongs to them, there should be no problem of, just rebuilding a new one.
Pretty much at the same time, both of them basically say you don't have the right to do that.
Oh, but see, here's the thing. I can destroy this torpedo because, one, I'm not going to brag. It's in our possession. Two, neither one of you can confidently prove that you are the rightful owners of this torpedo. And I'm not going to lie, I feel that I know that both of you are on a hair's trigger of just, causing conflict. I feel that the best way of maybe wrapping this up peacefully is to remove the source of the conflict to begin with.
You would be, what is the human saying? Cutting off your nose to spite your face, the Takaran exclaims.
I beg
That
to
torpedo is
differ.
That torpedo was designed by us specifically for the purposes of working alongside the Federation as part of a long-standing as part of a future partnership.
Then perhaps you should start being more truthful about its origins.
This is just a childish argument here.
And I can very well admit the Federation does not need a weapon of this magnitude. This was, as you said, merely an exercise in partnership. the Federation is by no means desperate on owning such a weapon. Its loss would be merely looked upon as well, that was a nice try. Better luck next time.
We would be happy to demonstrate that we are the ones responsible for developing the weapon, but the scientist in charge of the project stole all the plans, and we're unsure where they are.
You're talking of Dr. Jabran.
That is correct. He looks unhappy about making this confession. It could explain why they were so desperate to get him back.
Captain,
Yes.
if I could make a suggestion, I believe it would be expedient to question the doctor in person with appropriate representatives from all parties involved aboard the Nightingale.
A wonderful idea. Sub-Commander, would you like to enjoy some Federation hospitality?
You're Captain Talia Jazanan?
That is correct.
Normally I would decline such an offer, but I've been made familiar with your record and your decorations, and your decorations from the former Senate. So, under the circumstances, and in view of peaceful relations with the Federation, I will accept your offer.
Wonderful.
The Takaran commander looks unhappy, but he nods curtly and then ends the transmission.
I will send appropriate security teams to the transporter room, shall I?
Don't have them appear too threatening.
Of course not.
And actually, Commander Bong, you'll join me in welcoming our guests?
How impressive do you want us to be, Captain?
We're out in the middle of nowhere. I don't think rolling out the red carpet is necessary.
I was more referring to Commander Nas and myself. Would you like us to go change into our formals and equip any of our various racial accoutrements?
I don't believe that will be necessary.
All right, sir.
Now I'm wondering what Gorm's racial accoutrement would be.
I don't know, but they're about to. They're going to be
Shirtless.
greeted by Bjorn wearing Klingon armor over his uniform.
Oh dear.
He won't have had time to change out of it.
Yes, well, at least you don't have the battle axe.
Or does he?
No, the axe stayed home.
Oh, I didn't realize you were wearing Klingon gear.
Yeah, no. It's a keepsake of my time studying Mukbar on Konos. I've got like the full Klingon honor guard armor. He's back in the good stuff.
Starfleet uniforms, please.
Oh boy. and then there's Nas, who's
Just nods.
just Nas.
No, this is a special case.
Well, certainly requires special order uniforms.
And
Yup.
I did make Nas second officer, right?
That's
Yes.
correct.
Bjorn is first, and Nas is second.
Okay. I thought so, but I needed to refresh my memory. So, Commander Bong, Lieutenant Commander Nas, let us go greet our guests in the transporter room.
We're both actually lieutenant commanders.
Everyone is lieutenant commander except for the captain.
I thought you got your third pip.
Nope.
Fair enough. I was mistaken on that as well.
Well, even lieutenant commanders are still addressed as commanders.
Yes.
Well, except in the presence of a full commander, and it's lieutenant commander to differentiate between the two.
Yeah.
Right.
I was working on the assumption that he was a full commander, but I stand corrected. So anyway,
Yep.
Walk down to the transporter room.
Bjorn takes a quick trip to one of the closets, grabs a fresh uniform out of a replicator, changes, and beats feet down there.
So do we have a split scene
You're
now?
there. You arrive just in time as Oh wait, I have a thing for this.
Do we have a split scene now?
Yes, that is correct. Drop the momentum. You're down to 5.
Well, it's me now. Do we have two different things going on at once? Like whoever's still up on the bridge, which I guess just me and me.
Well, I
Never mind.
imagine the captain
you.
will. Yeah, I imagine the captain will want to be in on the interrogation. So actually nail down some definite answers.
And welcoming
Yeah.
two commanding officers of foreign government
Powers.
vessels. The captain has to be at the transporter room to greet them.
So it is just
That is
Vintot on the
true.
bridge.
Wouldn't
That
this give
is-
me the control of the bridge? Yeah.
Correct,
Yeah,
yes.
that's correct.
Vintot, you have the bridge.
All right. A little bit stunned, but okay.
I mean, you're a senior officer. It happens.
I can only imagine the doctors.
On day 2,
Opinions on
not
this?
so much.
All right, I'm stepping away for just a second. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Well,
Is there
Top
anything we?
moves to the moves
Is
to
there
the
anything we
captain's
could
chair
do
and
for?
plays
Sorry.
with buttons.
Is there anything we could do for in the place of our good doctor to help me out?
I'm actually in the next scene. You'll be back up and about.
Be what?
You'll be back up and about in the next scene.
Okay. I assumed if Red was here, we would have done a roll or two to see how well I would recover.
Yeah, pretty much. As
The one
Diz,
time we need the doctor, he's not here.
yeah, as Diz, I'm using you for plot purposes, which will be revealed shortly.
I was looking forward to Red's commentary about all this.
Yeah, well, he's silly and didn't show up, so
Yeah.
that's the thing.
Well, things happen.
Sad face.
But the Telluride commentary is always great.
Well, the first group to beam over are in fact Romulan, and a couple of his aides materialize and step down.
Welcome aboard, Sub-Commander.
Captain,
May I
Gives a-
present Commander Bong, my first officer, and Lieutenant Commander Nas, my second officer.
he gives a very slight bow.
Nas will return it.
So you have the lead of the Takaran development team in your custody, do you?
And we do. He is currently under heavy scrutiny right now, and I believe shortly we will be able to
Revive him.
uncover the truth of this whole matter.
Starfleet security has interests with him, and his reasoning for certain actions aboard our vessel.
A moment later, the Takaran commander and two of his aides beam over. There is clearly no love lost between the two factions here.
Well, how many people have love lost with the Romulans to begin with?
Yeah, well,
As a point of security protocol, and possibly as an attempt to help defuse the situation, Nas has assigned her two security guards for each detachment, and they will be standing in front of each delegation.
That is a reasonable precaution.
all right.
Sort of implying that the Starfleet officers are there to protect that delegation from whatever, not there to watch or secure them.
Well, I think it's a bit of a mixed bit. Watch them
an
while
honor guard.
also protecting them.
Kind of both, yeah.
Well, both Romulans and the Takarans are armed, but those will have been deactivated by the transporters. So,
I mean, security is also armed, but it's only, type 2s, and those are holstered. Standard security, security here. Except they've got folks around the med bay who still have the phaser rifles, because goddamn, I'm not chasing that fucker around again.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
well,
Welcome aboard, Commander Jakton. Pleasure to see you in person.
if only we were under better circumstances. Very well. Let us see the traitor.
So we lead them down to sickbay.
Pharrell,
Yes.
you've been awake for a few minutes at this point.
Little woozy, I take.
A little woozy, but definitely feeling much better. With the doctor being his grumpy self, keeping an eye on you.
There you go. You're all patched up. Try not to get all radiated again.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad impression. And you're just settling yourself and considering getting up. Probably having a brief conversation about whether your symbiote and your cybernetic link were affected at all, which the answer formally isn't. Fortunately, is no. When there's a little bit of motion from one of the other tables.
Jabram?
Yeah, the one with the heavily armed security officers next to it. It's on this note that the two delegations and the captain enter sickbay.
Captain, what did I miss?
You missed quite an exciting show upstairs.
Pharrell looks at the Romulan and Takaran delegations. Indeed.
So, how was our other guest doing? She asks it as a more general question.
Is that question to me about Jabram?
No, well, more to the staff and the. I can't ask it to the doctor. He's not here.
I'm sorry, say again?
She was asked, Tyes, how is our other guest doing to the room?
He appears to be waking up, sir.
What
This is going to
wonderful
go
timing.
Nas is going to go step over to her security detachment around that medical bed, just to lend her presence.
Well, Jabran slowly sits up, sees everyone surrounding him, and clearly has a moment of, maybe I should go back to sleep.
Welcome back to
but,
the world of the living, Doctor.
yes, Captain. Oh,
Pharrell eyes him carefully.
Start talking.
he looks around the room, sees the two delegations, the two commanders looming over him. Oh.
We've had a very interesting time while you've been out of commission, Doctor. We've learned so much about your torpedo. I wonder, I'm so intrigued as to how you developed such technology.
Captain Zonan, I would like to formally request asylum.
Under what grounds?
Nas does not laugh out loud.
You must believe me, I had no intention of causing any. I wanted to cause as little harm as possible to this ship. There's.
Comforting.
I know that my actions may look suspect, but I had my reasons.
And what were those reasons?
I could not, in good faith, continue working on a project which had been stolen from its rightful owners.
No surprise on Talia's face.
And, Doctor, who would that owner be?
The Romulans, of course. I believe that it was developed in a lab near Achenar Prime.
So you attempted to disable our ship's sensors and in an attempt to recover the torpedo yourself and return it to the Romulans?
No. I transmitted the defensive specifications for the Nightingale, which provided to me to the Klingon attack force in hopes that they would be able to disable the ship with minimal damage and minimal harm to the Federation, so that they could acquire the prototype and then escape. But didn't quite work out that way. And it would appear that although they managed to acquire the weapon, it was I assume by the fact that we're all here and that it is not already in Romulan hands, that something went wrong with that plan.
An away team just recovered the torpedo. I just recovered from radiation sickness that was emanating from that torpedo.
Your prototype had an unfortunate interaction with the bird of prey cloaking device.
It appears that the mixture of the weapon and the cloaking device caused an explosive reaction.
Tachyon surge.
She looks to the other one. Why did I say the other one? She looks to Lieutenant Commander Reines to confirm.
Pharrell nods. Tachyon radiation.
Fact is that the warhead was, by all rights, not ready for testing. I had to fudge a lot of numbers to get the rest of the department and the military to agree to it, but the sooner that I could get it out of Dakar in space and into a position where it could be returned to the Romulans, the better.
And you
Apparently-
didn't think of contacting us with this information because...
I was a fool. I thought that I could get through this whole thing without my part in it being revealed. I had hoped to be able to return to my work and return to my world and carry on as everything had been before the military handed me a weapon which they claimed had been developed by another department. As 'tis, the price of my conscience will be a trial which will likely either lead to incarceration or execution on my home world.
Nas
What
is
is
going to
the
look at...
Takaran's reaction to this? Did the Takaran have any reaction at all?
He's pissed, but he doesn't say anything because at this point any denials are going to look increasingly flimsy.
And just because I've been doing it all day, would you mind if I incited the doctor?
Yep, go for it. Insight command. You know the drill.
Good God, your dice are just on fire today.
Man, Captain...
Which means tomorrow they're not.
Yeah, well,
That puts you back up to 6 momentum for what that's worth. Yeah, no, this is the first time actually that you've spoken with him, and he hasn't been hiding something.
well, Sub-Commander, it appears we have truth at last.
Apparently so.
As a
whatever.
weapon, Sorry, go ahead.
I was unaware of the details, but I did know that we were supposed to be meeting with a mercenary force who had reacquired the weapon.
Well, that mercenary force is floating dead in their bird of prey just a few kilometers from our ship.
A third of them.
I personally will shed no tears over this. If they are who I believe they are, then they've become quite a nuisance in the Romulan space.
We can second that nuisance.
As a weapon, I cannot recommend this prototype to you, Sub-Commander. The details and data of its test firings, while impressive, leave much to be desired in the realms of practical applications.
I was given orders to recover the prototype. Beyond that is a matter for my superiors.
Given that this torpedo has a rather toxic effect to it, I would have recommend neutralizing the torpedo and starting from scratch, Sub-Commander.
I will, assuming that it is returned to me, I will avoid cloaking on the way back to Akinar.
Quick out-of-character commentary. Akinar is... remind me which of the factions Akinar is.
Akamar is that planet where the hunter-gatherers were like exiled from the world, and they kind of harassed Starfleet installations until Captain Picard intervened and mediated some kind of...
Different Akinar. Akinar Prime is one of the current Romulan capitals.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here we
I
go.
thought you said Akamar.
No. Akinar Prime, the Akinarian Empire, all of them call them, bear in mind, all three of the factions, Rator, Akinar, and Abraxas, all call themselves the Romulan Star Empire. Other people refer to them by their capitals. But the Akinarian Empire is led by a former Tal Shiar officer, and it's isolationist in the extreme. It's also
Sure, at its best.
it's also believed to be where the Narada was constructed, or perhaps altered would be a better term.
Before it went off on its murder spree and then disappeared from existence, near as anyone can tell.
Exactly.
I mean, you mean the Narada was refitted in that Empire area?
Correct.
Okay.
Of course, it was all united Romulan Star Empire at the time, but
each faction within the Empire has its own interests.
that's correct. So to talk about Akinar does give you some context for where Varus is coming from and what his priorities might be, or more specifically, the priorities of his superiors.
What about the Vault Var? Yeah.
So,
I assume that would be sort of unknown to us or Starfleet at the moment, since that facility is somewhat secret.
Yep.
At the moment, yeah.
You have no clue about that.
so
It's between now and the time of Star Trek Online 2409 that we learn of the Vault.
So, Commander Bong, could you have the torpedo prepared for transfer? Don't know if I want to, even if y'all have disabled it, I don't know if I trust the transporters on it just yet. Have it prepared for transfer. I need to update the Admiral. I would love to have you, Sub-Commander, for refreshments shortly after, if you would not mind.
It'll take some time to transfer the weapon. I suppose that I could allow a brief time for that.
The
She
torpedo
turns
is still in the shuttle, Captain, ready for transfer whenever we want to.
But anyway, that was out of character. But Commander Jackton, given light of this information, you can be sure that our governments will be communicating over this matter.
Officially, I cannot and will not comment or confirm any kind of theft, and my government will make its protests about this. The wind
I'm
does seem
sure
to
they
take my
will.
sails a bit, though.
Pharrell discreetly rolls his eyes.
Given this, Doctor, your request for asylum will be taken under heavy consideration. Other than that, Commander Jackton, it has been a pleasure. I enjoyed meeting you. And if he tries to insight, she's not lying. But I believe this is where we must part ways.
Yeah, the Takarans, minus the Doctor, leave without another word.
Nas sends basically all of her security detachment, mostly back to their duty points, and lets her escorts take them back to the transporter room.
You are informed shortly after that they've returned their ships and that the Takaran frigates are returning back to the Takara system.
Okay, well,
Nas fixes the Doctor with another glare. Next time, perhaps you would prefer not to inflict 3 birds of prey upon a Federation starship.
I can assure you that there will not be a next time.
Let's hope.
Good.
Quite apart from everything else, I am done with weapons research.
very good. Commander Bong, if you would not mind entertaining the sub-commander while I make my report, and I will be with you as shortly to see about those refreshments. Prepare the command, have the command, the officers' mess prepared
I hope
for international guests.
I hope you have a case of Romulan ale, Captain.
She just smirks and walks out.
We'll take that as a yes.
If you would join me, Sub Commander.
Nas is going to follow the captain.
Shall I return to the bridge, Commander?
I would prefer you to oversee the transfer of the torpedo.
Understood.
And
Bjorn?
that,
Just so you know what Bjorn is doing, Bjorn is taking the sub commander and his little and the sub commander's posse, and basically doing a tour of the hydroponics labs. It's a safe area. It keeps them distracted, and he's got a cherry tree he's more than willing to show off.
Fucking cherry trees, man. That's amazing.
Well, he's from Wisconsin. There are cherry trees in Wisconsin. It's from his family farm. He brings the tree with him in the hydroponics lab. It's his hobby.
Hell yes.
And he uses,
This is a great idea.
Anyway, so I make my way to my ready room to contact Janeway.
Are we using the transporters for the torpedo or shuttlecraft?
Shuttle.
Okay.
Assuming we are moving it at all, Nas is still following the captain.
So would I be taking the shuttle and just doing a trip there, trip back?
Not yet.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, we're
You
not.
want to take 5 here? Seems like a good transition point to kind of take 5.
Yep, works for me.
Okie doke. Quick, 10-minute bathroom and water and stuff break.
Indeed.
And we shall reconvene shortly.
Which cheat sheet?
The one with the actions.
Oh, the bridge officer one. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. And we're back. Lovely. So, there's not actually that much more to this adventure. You're pretty much looking at reporting in, which I
Right.
believe was about to happen.
Yeah,
So-
high priority, secure channel.
Unless Talia has dismissed Naz, she is still following.
Alrighty then.
I don't know if Nas should be there for this.
Pharrell is overseeing preparation of the warhead transfer.
I'm distracting the Romulans.
With cherries.
An important job.
Are we...
I think that traditionally this would be something for the captain only.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But what to do with Nas until then? Oh yeah, easy.
Go to the bridge.
Yeah. Lieutenant Commander Nas, you have the bridge. Have Commander Bentot help Commander Raimi with the torpedo.
Commander Raimi.
Well then.
Of course, Captain. A question, if I may, though.
Please.
Are we really going to let the Star Empire have that prototype?
Our hands may be tied.
I, in a professional capacity, would advise against giving them the actual prototype, although I suppose the technical information may be provided as a service, but I don't like the idea of giving them our quantum torpedo technology in order to refine their singularity device better.
Does this torpedo has Federation technology as a part of it? I thought it was just like straight brand new.
If I remember correctly, it's a modified quantum.
I thought it was.
It's all Romulan. It's all
yeah,
Romulan.
Oh, it's all Romulan.
Yep.
Oh.
retcon that.
I'm not a fan of letting them have such a weapon either. But there are difficult political considerations to take into play. None, even more so, would be prime directive implications. This is not a simple matter, Lieutenant Commander. We must get direction from Starfleet itself.
I can appreciate that. I just submit it would be ill-advised to give extra help to someone we are not sure if we may be facing later. Although, suppose I can console myself with the thought that this may improve relations with the Arcanar splinter.
Possibly. If anyone needs relations improved, it's us and the Romulans.
There is that.
I just had a bit of a cowboy idea of Pharrell discreetly putting some kind of virus into the warhead that makes it defective, and like harmlessly defective. But I'm not going to do that because I probably would need a roll for that one.
You would in fact need to roll for it.
Yeah, I'm not
There
going to
will be,
risk that.
there will be long-term consequences.
Yeah.
This,
As
this
always.
torpedo, one way or the other, will come back into play. Put that
Ooh.
out there right now.
Have Lieutenant Commander Vintot assist with the transfer. You have the con while I figure out. Well, I talk with the admiral and figure out what our next play is.
Stall for time, in essence, yes?
Correct.
Very well, Captain. I will see your will done.
I apologize for the sudden burst of sirens. Evidently, my crimes have been discovered.
Oh
It
no!
happens.
You made me do it.
Lieutenant
So,
Commander Vintot.
Oh dear.
So I go in my road room and I have the console for communication open.
There you are.
The captain has asked me to take the con. You are to meet with Lieutenant Commander Reynos in preparing the device for transport. Please, this is a complicated process. Take all the time you need. Yes. Yeah.
So, Captain's ready room.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this. I am, but I'm not. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
One priority transmission to Starfleet Command coming up.
Admiral Catherine
Or it's
Janeway.
Emerald Janeway specifically, not
Mhm.
not going straight to San Francisco.
Just let me know when I need to bring the sub commander back.
Well, you're waiting for a few minutes because, contrary to what Starfleet might have you believe, not everyone does nothing but sit around waiting for calls. But the image pops up of the Admiral. Captain, I take it that there is news of some variety?
Well, funny things have happened. You know how we were directed to not make this a major incident? Apparently, it started as a major incident.
I'm not going to like this, am I?
No one is, but we are in a position, a stronger position than our last communication. The torpedo is Romulan, Admiral, as in developed and created by the Romulans.
A Romulan torpedo in which the Takaran has passed off as their own.
Correct. And Dr. Jabron, in his wisdom, decided to set up the test to have the Nightingale disabled, the torpedo recovered by mercenaries, and returned to the Romulans. He has asked for asylum and is willing to testify as such.
So his plan went about as smoothly as any plan goes.
Did I mention I have a Romulan sub-commander on board right now?
No, you did not. That was important information, I think, Captain. This is a hell of a mess.
As we caught up to the torpedo and recovered it, we are being visited currently by two Romulan Derek's warbirds. I have their commanding officer on board, with all hospitality being given.
Do you know which faction?
Akanar.
Akanar. Yes, I suppose without fit with covert weapons research, given the current state of the Empire. Well, that might make sense, but it also makes things a lot messier.
My thoughts exactly. However, they are demanding return of the prototype.
Of course they are. You're the one on the ground, Captain. What's your rate?
I don't want to give it to them, Admiral, but I don't know how I don't know how we can get out of this without doing it. As significant as the Nightingale is, should this sub-commander be pushed the wrong way, I don't think we could survive 2 to Derek's classes.
No, even given the state of the Romulan, of large chunks of the Romulan Navy at the moment, that does not sound like an engagement you win. I quite understand your reluctance to hand weapons technology back to the Romulans, especially if it's as effective as all the tests would indicate.
There is one bright spot. As far as we can tell, as my crew has scanned it and told, it does not work well with cloaking devices.
Well, that's something, I suppose.
And this, I'm imagining this falls under Prime Directive as well.
Falls into the wonderful grey area of the Prime Directive that is why there's so many addenda to that particular general order.
On the other, I was thinking though, as much as I don't want to, the Akanars have not been the most welcoming to our presences. This might be a step into the right direction.
That wasn't lost on me, Captain. In the estimations of your teams, just how viable a weapon is this torpedo?
Well, we don't know what research the Romulan science teams have put into it. But if it were me making the decision whether or not to accept this weapon from the Dakans, I would have given it a straight no. It's too volatile. The mixing of tachyon and graviton energies don't seem to mix very well, and it's too much of a danger to the user.
Frankly, Captain, this is something which I'm sure that a Council of Admirals could argue in circles for days. But your upcoming mission to provide relief in the Romulan Empire mustn't be forgotten either. If we play nice with them here, that will give goodwill. Could make life a lot easier, both for you in particular, and for future relations between the Federation and the Romulans, particularly the Akanarian bloc. Which, as I'm sure you can imagine, high priority for us. Rator might like the Ratorians, and Taris's renegades might like us. That's only half the equation. If we can get Akanar on side as well, that'll just leave Abraxas as an obstacle. Under the circumstances, given the apparent lack of viability of the warhead, or at the very least the long-term problems with making it usable, and in the interests of furthering relations with Praetor Atarax, I'm inclined to suggest that you go ahead of them.
What was the name of the Praetor you said?
Retarix. Retarix.
You gave him a name. I needed to write it down.
Very true. These are going to be important names.
I have the Google Doc up.
I assumed that would be the decision as much as I am wary of it. We have the torpedo prepared to transfer. I will have my crew do so immediately.
Make sure that you get as many scans of the weapon as possible before it leaves.
Correct.
Even if
Speaking
it's not-
of something we missed like a couple of weeks ago, and I'd never brought it up, that Captain ordered when they beamed the torpedo on the ship immediately, like the first time, to have the ship scan it as it's being like do as much as the computer can scan the torpedo. But we missed that, so I never really brought it up.
Well, like we've seen in the series, the transporters have a record of something when it's transported, people and items. So we could probably spin it into that if possible.
Long story short, you'll have a decent amount of information on the weapon. You might not be able to recreate it, but you will at least have some stuff to analyze about it.
Plus, we've scanned it numerous times between
Correct.
meeting.
Well then, Admiral, I have some guests that I must bring goodwill upon. I've invited the sub commander to refreshments to hopefully, maybe this might be able to be a bridge I can build.
Well, rather you than me, Captain, but that is why you were chosen for this assignment. Seems like it was a hard mission, but considering how unpleasant it could have been, I think you've done well.
Thank you. I wish it could have gone better, but it seems the cards were not on our side.
How much damage has the Nightingale taken? Will you need to return to Starbase before departing for Romulan space?
Quite possibly just for a quick repair. We're not gravely disabled, but we have taken some damage.
Probably best to make sure that you're in as good a condition as possible. Idea what you might face out there.
Well, we do have some idea, but it's changing every day.
That is, in fact, the way of space. Alright then, Captain. Once again, congratulations. And, be in touch. Chenmei out.
With that, she, Captain Zaonen to Commanders Ranis and Vintot begin transfer of the torpedo to the Romulans while the rest of us entertain our guests.
Acknowledged, Captain.
Understood, Captain.
Quick question for me: is the sub commander male or female?
Ma'am.
Okay.
No, Ventod, we did not.
I'm having fun days.
There we go.
Alright, he responded, understood, Captain.
And that is about the end of the episode.
We lived!
You lived! And
Bro.
we came up with a pretty decent result.
Pharrell looks at Vintots. I don't know about you, but you can go for some Romulan ale right about now.
Yes, once they get the procedures going, the senior staff should be on the primary, visiting our guests. Ship crew can handle the rest of the procedure.
If you said something, Bar, I did not hear it.
I gotta get this whole entire thing of push to talk figured out next time.
Yeah, it seems to work until we're actually playing.
Does your headset have a physical mute button on it?
Yes, it does, but I've been trying to work with that and the push to talk, because last time I tried to do that, it didn't work well. Well, just let it go on its own. I sounded robotic, is what you guys were telling me.
Okay.
Please tell me you got that.
You got that? No, yeah, we got that.
So, any other mission wrap-up things need to happen?
Yep, we are on to milestones. So, small checklist to work out who actually earned a milestone.
Earned what?
So, milestones are a thing which you tally up at the end of a mission. For those of you who are familiar with D&D and such like, it's the closest that Star Trek Adventures gets to experience points. There's not a great deal of change of upgrade to characters, but there is some side grading which is possible. So let's see, let's go down the list. Pharrell, as a result of being severely injured, well, moderately injured anyway, by radiation sickness,
Got better.
and also for spending determination, that means you have earned one normal milestone. I'll explain what that means in a moment after I go through everyone.
Alright.
Okay. Bjorn, you also spent determination, so you also get a milestone.
Yay.
Mars, yep, one for you as well. Talia, I'm going to come back to. The Doctor, I believe, does not get one. And Ventox. Let me see. Yes, Ventox, you also do not get one. Not everyone is going to get a milestone. You did stop the thing from exploding, which might. Let's see. Both you and Talia are potentially up for spotlight milestones. Okay, so okay, so no. You know what? This is the first mission, and everyone played a part, and everyone did their thing. So this is bending the rules a little bit, but I'm going to give everyone a normal milestone.
Woohoo!
So, normal milestones. You may do one of the following. If value was challenged, nobody challenged a value. Okay, so you may choose a focus and replace it with another focus. You may choose two disciplines, increase one of them by 1 and reduce the other by 1. You may do so with a supporting character. We didn't have any supporting characters. And you may also save it, in which case you can use it for stuff at a later point. Basically, when you save a normal milestone, you can later use it as a one-shot value. Let's see. So at any point during a subsequent adventure, the player may call back to that saved milestone and the adventure it came from. The player describes how a memory of, or lesson from, that adventure relates to the current situation. If the game master approves, then the player gains the effects of a point of determination, as if they'd used a value or directive in a positive fashion. After this has been resolved, cross out the milestone. Each saved milestone may only be used once. So it's basically at some point later on you can use it as a free value and point of determination if you so desire and you don't want to do any of the other things.
Yeah, I think I might save mine.
Yeah, I'm saving mine as well.
Okay.
I might save mine, but I'm wondering if I should change my astrometrics focus to something else.
Well, I am changing the focus. I'm going to cross out cultural studies and pick up diplomacy.
That's probably not a bad plan.
I think I'll save mine.
Okay. And the doctor can figure it out in due course.
I will say astrometrics is somewhat redundant since I'm the con officer and I have astronavigation and we're not on a mapping mission.
Yeah.
If we were mapping, then that would be a different skill, but it's kind of an overlap and focus right there.
Are there any focuses any of you can recommend to replace it? Was me being science officer.
I want to go into stuff like there are a few points here where like quantum physics would have been helpful.
All right, I think after this mission I'm going to do that.
We're quantum physics or nuclear physics since we dealt with a lot of radiation.
If I go for quantum physics.
All right. So, again, slightly bending the rules, but I'm also going to award a spotlight milestone. Now, spotlight milestone can do all kinds of things. It's the same sort of swapping around stuff rather than upgrading per se, but it lets you mess with talents, attributes, and it also lets you adjust ship stuff. There is only one spotlight milestone awarded, and it recommends only dropping them once every 2 or 3 missions. And it's not up to me who it's awarded to. You get to vote. You can't vote for yourself, and you have to vote for someone who got a normal milestone, which, hey look, all of you did. So, do we want to do the secret and you PM me stuff, or are we happy with open discussion?
I'm happy with open discussion.
Same.
All right.
I'd nominate Pharrell since Pharrell is the one who took the most heavy radiation in our side mission.
I appreciate the nomination.
Pharrell definitely put the most on the line, I think.
Yeah, there's that to be said for.
See, I missed out a lot of what happened on the away mission.
Like, it was me and Nas on the bridge trying to get environmental controls online and bypassing security protocols.
Yep, and Bjorn took Pharrell down to deactivate.
Vintot.
Took Ventot down to deactivate the torpedo. We were successful, but Pharrell ended up eating a ton of radiation in the process.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what happened. Even though being the one that was standing right on top of the torpedo, I don't know why I didn't get a lot, but I guess I didn't.
Well, we were basically right above you guys, so...
It's tachyons. It's weird.
To quote Janeway, we're Starfleet officers. Weird is part of the job.
True enough.
I got no problem with that nomination.
We're going with Pharrell then?
That's 3 yes, so...
Oh. What about you, Captain? Nas?
I mean, yeah, it works for me.
I mean, I'm trying to think of who else would be reasonable for a nomination, but I'm kind of drawing short blanks here.
I mean, for my money, the 3 standouts, Talia managing to talk her way through a lot of hairy situations.
We were so close to death so many times.
And I remember, what about Vintot? I mean, he put himself on the line once or twice. I mean,
Yep, and Ventot's pulling it out in the nick of time and successfully disarming that torpedo.
Not to mention working with an EPS console that could have exploded in his face.
That too. Although that's kind of an everyday occurrence for people who work in engineering. Let's face it.
Well,
I gotta say, both Pharrell and Ventot had, I thought, really good overall sessions. Not just around the roles, but figuring out, like, hey, doing they played their roles well. I think everybody did, but I think that they did so, especially, and this is kind of like out of character stuff, being as I think they're our 2 newest to this style of role play.
I believe so. So I recall neither of you have done tabletop.
Nope, this is my first tabletop game.
As well as mine.
And I think Red's done some tabletop.
I'm not super sure about that.
I mean, he did ask some questions to make sure he was getting things right. I have no idea if he's had experience or not.
Well, this is a whole new system for everybody, so
Right.
that's going to happen. But he's made comments before that. He's made some comments before that lead me to believe he's had at least some experience. So either one of those 2, I think, is fine. I don't feel like I challenged myself. I mean, like today, yeah, I felt that I was sitting on I was on a hairpin, but I don't think that it was something that I necessarily challenged myself enough with, or you know what I mean.
You did have some moments that did that mattered in the outcome.
Yeah, but I have no problem with either Ventot or Pharrell getting it.
Shall we flip a quarter?
Well, you have the most votes.
Oh.
Yep, Ventot it is, I think. So.
Wait, Vintot or me?
Pharrell, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm voting. I'm good with 4L still. Because if I'll also throw in this out here. If we did actually have a doctor and we ended up having to do medical rolls, 4L could have died.
Yeah, right, really. And I would have had to change hosts.
That'd be awkward. Alright,
I would have like I should have stayed on the galaxy.
so. Um. Is there anywhere to note this? Oh, okay. So yes, if you hit the little cogwheel on your sheet, it'll actually show you some other stuff, including places to drop milestone counts.
Oh, my sheet just changed. It just changed. Okay, never mind.
Where out on the sheet?
Like,
The little cogwheel at the top.
I was just looking at my regular character sheet, and then all of a sudden it changed on me to sheet settings.
Yeah, it's because I'm looking at yours and I keep
Okay.
clicking the button. Sorry.
I figured as much.
Aha.
So yes, all of you have one normal milestone. Burrell, you also have a slight milestone. Once
Well,
you're on a certain number, of spotlights, then you can get an arc milestone. That's going to be a way off.
I did use my normal milestone to change my focus, so that would bring it down to 0, right?
You note down the totals.
Say what now?
Note down the totals rather than total earned rather than
Spent.
stuff spent.
Okay.
For those of you who are actually saving one up, drop it in your notes, please.
And I would change my rank to Lieutenant Commander, right?
Yeah. Well,
You
that
should,
doesn't
because it
matter
changes
for reputation stuff.
information. Yeah, that hasn't come into play yet, but I'm sure it will.
It's about to. That's the next thing to go over.
Okay.
Ooh, hey, we can change character sheets to white in there.
I love how an ensign on the current of these sheets has more responsibility than a captain.
Responsibility is
Or is that obverse like
that's,
everything else?
That's the complication range for the reputation roll, basically. So high numbers mean less responsibility.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
All right. So, Pharrell,
Yes.
things you can do. You can juggle 2 attributes, raise one and lower the other. You can swap a talent, or you can change the ship around some.
How would I change the ship around?
So you can increase one system and reduce the other. You can increase one department and reduce the other. Or you can change a talent for the ship.
I don't think I want to mess with the ship at all, because as I'm still new to this.
And we are doing a starbase to remove the breach, right?
Yes.
And you said I can mess with my attributes a bit.
Yes. So you can raise one and lower another. I might personally suggest, maybe probably not going to have a great deal of use for presence, so you might want to drop that and raise daring a little. Just on the
Alrighty.
basis of, hey, I nearly died once.
Yeah, right. Alrighty, I've done that.
Cool. And that is your spotlight milestone. If you get another of those, then that earns you an arc milestone. And those actually do let you just flat out increase. But that's going to be a way away.
Yeah.
Now, adaptation. I need to do a little bookkeeping for this. The reputation is basically a measure of just how much you're in Starfleet's good books.
Oh dear.
Now, everyone starts play with a reputation score of 10. You have a responsibility and a privilege value based upon your rank. Dee.
Should responsibility automatically update? Yes, it should.
It should do. To give you an idea of the numbers, if your reputation is between 0 and 4, then you're in danger of being demoted or possibly kicked out,
Ouch.
or at the very least, disciplinary action. Between 5 and 9, you're basically on shaky ground. Between 10 and 14, reputation is solid, performance is satisfactory, but not outstanding.
That's where I'm at.
Between 15 and 19, good record, maybe a commendation or two. 20, exemplary. And if you hit 20, that's the suggested marker within the game of getting promoted.
And this might be obvious, but how do we increase our reputation?
That's what we're getting to.
Okay, my bad.
So, so naturally, a character's reputation is not fixed, but can change as they face new challenges and the consequences of their decisions. Actions in keeping with Starfleet's values and standards will see an increase in a character's reputation, while choices and outcomes which reflect poorly upon Starfleet will see a character's reputation reduce, and may even see disciplinary action taken. At the end of the mission, the Game Master should consider the outcome of that adventure and the decisions that were taken, and decide how these actions will affect the character's reputation. The Game Master should determine which actions and outcomes for the adventure may have had positive or negative influences upon their reputation. Another little thing to go through. So, let's see. Well, I acted in accordance with orders and directives. Yeah, I think that works for everyone. Challenged a directive. I mean, you skated around the Prime Directive and other stuff, but you couldn't really help it.
We were in the gray area.
Yeah, I don't think that really qualifies.
We didn't involve ourselves in this problem. We got involved by other people.
Yep. Prevented combat. Yep, I'll definitely give that to Talia.
Yep, we avoided a three-way incident.
Personnel under your command are killed. Nope. No one dead. Resorted to lethal force without cause. Nope. Established an alliance with an enemy.
Maybe not an alliance. Not so much as an alliance as a bridge foundation.
In theory.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna leave that. Directly contributed to saving lives. Nah.
Wouldn't Red be up for that because he tried?
That's fair actually. Yeah, I'll give one to the Doctor. Acted above and beyond the call of duty. Yeah, to be honest, I think the entire away team on that for the mess that they got into on the Bird of Prey.
Yeah, that was a little harsh, but we did.
Yeah, I can second that.
Taking unnecessary risks in the course of the mission. No, I don't think so.
Not unnecessary, no.
It's good news. That's actually no negative influences.
Woohoo!
So, Roll. Okay, so Pharrell,
Yes.
if you go to your oh yep, you've already got it up. If you look at the reputation thing, you'll see that there's an option to roll a dice. The number that you want to put in there is going to be 1, 2. Yeah, you'll be rolling 2 dice.
So do I type the number 2 in there, or?
Yep, put the number 2 in and then click the chevron. Okay. Has apparently no successes.
Well, it should show up at least some.
Yeah, I was like debating or something. Do you want me to try hitting it again?
It's weird.
You did put a 2 in the little slot next to the icon, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Oh no, that's Lazu.
Yeah, I rolled it for you.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, it seems to be working for me. So I don't know if your sheet goofed.
Huh.
Yeah, I think it must have done. Okay. So, that is more successes. Okay, so taking the roll which I did, that's 3 successes, no negatives. So your reputation goes up by 2.
Nice.
Um,
I'm gonna try hitting the icon again as a
actually
test.
goes up by 3. I'm sorry.
Oh,
You
wow.
don't actually have any negatives. So you're looking good.
But yeah,
All
I'm
right.
gonna hit the icon again just to make sure it's not like buggy on me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah, but the first time I must have just not updated properly.
Huh.
All right.
it's a good thing. It's a good thing we didn't go with this one.
Yes, well. Okay. Next on the list, Bjorn.
So question, is that everyone's reputation or is that
That's just
individual?
Pharrell.
That's
You've all got
me.
your own rolls to make. So Bjorn, that's 2 dice as well. Do you want to just keep the roll you had there?
Sure.
Okay. Yep, your reputation goes up by 2. Lars. Again, 2 dice.
Responsibility should be 19 for Lieutenant Commander, right?
That's what it shows for me.
Correct.
For me it was 10.
That's your. That's not your
Oh,
responsibility.
responsibility. My bad. I thought
Yeah.
we were on reputation, so yeah, responsibility 19.
Woo.
Okay, so you got 2. Okay. Talia.
Yes.
You are. You're going to be rolling 1 dice. I'm adding it all up.
Okay, so I changed that number on the thing to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it's doing the same thing to you.
Click it again.
Oh,
Okay. No change.
Yeah.
Almost a failure though.
The doctor. I'll roll for the doctor.
okay.
think it worked again.
Everything's broken forever.
There we go.
It just seems to balk the first time for whatever reason.
Hmm.
And
didn't do
last but
that.
not least,
It didn't do that for the 10.
Mhm. Last but not least, Vintot, you are also rolling 2 dice.
Oh,
Ouch.
like what the heck?
8?
How?
Is it
Come on.
crit?
Oh, come on. Roll again.
Hold on. You must have done something weird there. Well, you're rolling as an ensign, doesn't it?
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
There we go, fixed it.
Am I rolling again?
You're just destined to have a complication.
Oh, jeez.
Let me just find what happens with Okay, so that's the crit.
You've started down the Barkley path of promotion.
This is
Just kind of
Oh,
a
please, if I start spending
twitch.
too much time in a holodeck, please pull me out of there.
okay. So I believe that a crit
gonna-
fail counts as a negative. So you just come out as a flat 0.
Can you say that
So you
again?
stay-
Sorry.
You stay at 10 reputation.
Okay.
Well, it's better than losing reputation.
People having a death test. Actually, no. You go up by 1. The complications only come into effect if you fail, basically. So you're at 11 reputation.
Oh, so I am 11?
Yep.
Yes.
And that's that. That is the wrap-up complete. You have now finished the first mission among the Embers.
Woohoo.
Do we tackle our privilege and responsibility any, or?
That's just mechanics for the reputation rolls.
Okay.
You don't need to worry about those. So, how's everyone feeling?
I'm liking this.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of fun when my mic works.
Yes,
Yeah.
that kind of goes without saying. So, we are going to be on break for 2 weeks, actually, because I'm going to be at the other end of the country next Saturday, and I'm going to be seeing my parents the Saturday after. So, our next session is going to be the 5th of May, I believe.
Yep, that's after 2 weeks.
Sounds good.
Yep.
At which point we'll be into new territory, and I will not be running off a pre-made adventure this time.
Oh boy.
Now, let me ask this to the other people here. Would you like to just regather on those days and just talk about stuff?
It's fine with me.
Yeah. Did a little bit of brainstorming.
I mean, it depends what I have going on, but I'm not opposed.
Yeah.
I think I'm in
And maybe run
kind
it
of
a
the
bit
same
later.
boat.
Who knows? Well, we can discuss that more off chat. Or off stream, I should say, or off video, whatever.
Yes, well. So, cool stuff. We have
Okay.
linked up there to all our viewers. I've no idea how many we actually have. We shall see you on the 5th of May, when we all once